I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Don't go through a breakup alone. Click on the link in the description below to get a one-on-one coaching with me, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about breakups, grief, and the pain of death. So, one of the most difficult aspects of a breakup is that it can happen at any moment. It sucks, but it's the reality of any kind of relationship. And this is why I always tell you guys that anytime you get into a relationship, you are risking heartbreak. There are no guarantees. People make promises that they'll be there forever, and they break them all the time. Think about it. All the people that get married vow to promise to make their relationship work and be there for each other, and then 5 years later they're miserable and they've left. So, it's just a reality of life. People make promises all the time that they mean in the moment, but then they don't stick to them. So, breakups can happen at any moment. Sometimes you have warning, sometimes you don't. Sometimes your partner will express their unhappiness and they'll do something to try and repair the situation. Sometimes they might be miserable and hiding it and cheating on you behind your back. So it's very, very difficult, and just like death, it happens without warning. It's so true, because if you really think about it, we never know when somebody's going to die. I mean, sometimes you know if somebody's got serious health problems, but think about, maybe you've known people that have got into a car accident or had a heart attack and died. Look today, Carrie Fisher passed away. Obviously she had a heart attack recently, but we were all told she was recovering. So now there are literally millions of people out there that are mourning this woman's death. And it's absolutely heartbreaking for so many people, including myself. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I got to meet Carrie at least 5 or 6 times over the years. And, you know, she was just a very likable, friendly person, and she definitely said whatever was on her mind, and a lot of people appreciated that. And George Michael, just a couple of days ago, passed away out of nowhere. It sucks, and you get attached to people, even people like Carrie Fisher, who many of us have never met, or George Michael, but you get attached to them because you really appreciate them and their music or their work, or, you know what I mean, their movies or whatever. So you get attached to them, and then it really hurts when you lose this person because they feel like they're a part of your life. And so it's a really tough situation. Letting go of people that you really care about is very, very difficult for many of us, especially if you haven't had your needs met. If you haven't had your needs met, it is incredibly difficult to move on and have the faith that something else or someone else is going to come along and meet those needs. Because you've had them neglected for so long, it's like you don't have faith that somebody is going to come along and take care of those needs. It's very difficult. So I got a couple of emails today that I'm going to go through, and I do want to point out one thing here, because guys, a lot of you guys just take the information that you think is the best for you, but please understand, I give you certain information because I know what you need oftentimes and you don't. And here is a good example of that. One of the videos that I am always telling you guys to watch is choosing a good partner. Why? Because I understand that if you don't choose a good partner, you're going to wind up with a broken heart. If you don't choose somebody who is good and healthy and ready for a relationship, at some point they are going to break up with you, or you're going to break up with them, Either way, you're going to wind up heartbroken. But I looked right before I filmed this video. Choosing a Good Partner has 240 views. I tell you guys all the time, watch that video. Write it down right now. Go watch that video. Guys, you have to know how to choose a good partner. Please. It's not for me. It's for you. If you don't know these skills and you don't know what to look for, you're going to wind up with somebody that just breaks your heart. So, I got an email here that I want to start with. This is just a little email that wanted to know about why breakups are so painful. And, you know, you have to see the similarities of how breakups are like a death, because it in some ways it is a death. It's like a death of the relationship, a death of the bond, a death of that connection to that person who you were, in many cases, the most closest to in your life, and you relied upon for so much comfort and support and love, and you just know that it's gone, or they walked away, or they cheated on you, or they said they couldn't do it anymore. Whatever the reason, it hurts just as bad. And so she wants to know, why are breakups so painful? I don't understand why I'm so heartbroken over a guy I only dated for 3 months. I could tell you this happened to me. I could think of 2 girls that I grew very attached to very quickly. And I, for whatever reason, believed that both of these girls were girls that I was going to be with long term. And both of them broke up with me. I was shocked by both of the breakups. And I was devastated, really. And I'm embarrassed to say it, but I really was. One I found out had serious mental health issues and was on all kinds of medication, and, you know, may have been schizophrenic, and she definitely had a lot of issues going on. I don't remember. That was, oh my gosh, probably like at least 12 years ago, maybe more than that. It had to be more than that, actually. 15 years ago, so it's been a long time, so I don't really remember the details. But I do remember how hurt and upset I was by it. And then there was another girl that I started seeing, this is years ago too, this is probably about 7 years ago, no, probably more than that now too. And anyway, we were dating for like 3 months, 4 months, and I was really attached to her. I thought she was going to be my next serious girlfriend. It was going really good, so I thought. Then she broke up with me out of nowhere, and just devastated. I mean, I was just heartbroken and couldn't stop thinking about her, or the obsessive thoughts, had a hard time moving on. And, you know, it feels like death. It really does. And it's because of the way we're wired. Okay, guys, you've heard me talk about this in videos, that we are meant to attach to other people. And there's basically this built-in attachment system in us. From 3 months on, we attach to our caregivers attach to us. Our body tells us if we are unattached, if we are disconnected from them, we're in danger of dying. If a 2-year-old wanders too far away from their parents, they are in mortal danger. So your brain continues to tell you, you must go back, you must reunify, over and over again, until you reunify to keep you safe. Now, this is the same alarm system that goes off when we are broken up from our caregiver. So that alarm system is saying, reunify with your partner or you are going to die. That's why it feels like death. It releases chemicals in us that cause us to feel stress. We can't ignore those obsessive thoughts, because it's literally like saying, if you don't reunify with your partner, you're going to die. And your body is obviously trying to keep itself alive. So that is why it is very difficult to shut that alarm system off. It can be done. It takes time. That's one of the things that I will teach you when you work with me in a Skype session. I can give you all kinds of strategies based on what's going on with you, as each person is a little bit different in that area. And really, honestly, the biggest thing that you can do is talk about it. If you don't want to work with me, then get yourself a professional locally. Now, obviously, most of them are not really trained in breakups. There's really no breakup trainer out there. It's me. I mean, for the specialty for breakups, I mean, that's my passion. And I don't know any other clinicians that are really interested in breakups or helping people get through breakups. For whatever reason, you're stuck with me. The good and the bad. But you will benefit through talking to a clinician locally. But like I said, if you want to look at the most effective strategies to reattract somebody, then definitely come to me for a plan with that, because that is what I specialize in. I'm not going to lie here. A lot of therapists will give you bad advice on how to handle a breakup. They don't learn that in school, and they're just going to go with their gut and probably give you similar advice in that situation to what a family member or a friend would tell you. So go with them absolutely to talk about things, but if you're looking for strategies, you want to be careful, because they're going to tell you things like write them a letter and tell them how you feel, and that simply does not re-attract them. I promise you. I deal with this all day, every day, and I repeatedly get emails and talk to people all day long who say do these strategies. I wrote them a handwritten letter, and I called them and professed my love, and I did that just out of the movie. Doesn't work. That is not what causes reattraction. Tell me your situation. Let me come up with a plan with you to give you the best results. Okay, guys? Alright, I have a second email here from Carlton, who has been dating Beatrice for about 2 years. And yes, I did choose the first two ridiculous names that came in my head. Carlton and Beatrice. They seem like a lovely couple in my mind. So, here's the situation. Really, really interesting situation. And this is definitely a unique one, but it definitely illustrates the point of how a breakup can be just like a death and happen sudden out of nowhere. And this one actually hit very close to home with me, not in a breakup sense, but let me go on with this. You're going to see my own personal experience, how I related with this particular breakup. So, Carlton and Beatrice been together for 2 years, and he let me know that he thinks her attachment style was avoidant because her mom had passed away when she was 11, and they were very close. So you can imagine the trauma that this poor woman went through as a girl, losing mom at 11 years old. I mean, that's awful. And her dad, he said, had a brain disease, and he sexually abused her. Well, I don't know about the brain disease, but getting molested by her father in whatever fashion, he didn't go into detail, is absolutely horrific. And that it would cause you to have major, major trust issues with men. I mean, and understandably so. If you feel like if your own parents don't take good care of you and they are willing to hurt you like that, then how trustworthy is anybody else? He said that she has an older sister, and they get along, but they're not very close. They're very different people, and he had a very different kind of situation. Then he said, I hope you can help. So, his ex had a problem with prescription drugs, and he said, I didn't really know about it. She got really sick and started having seizures and lost her memory, and he brought her to the hospital. So, when I came back, I wasn't allowed back because she didn't remember me. So you can imagine how horrible it was for this guy all of a sudden. Put yourself in his shoes. All of a sudden, you're just hanging out with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. They start blacking out or going unconscious or having some kind of reaction, a seizure. You bring them to the hospital, they wake up and they don't remember you. They've lost their memory. And the reason that I said I could relate to this is that one of the families that I have known for a long time and worked with locally had someone in the family that went through this exact same thing, that they lost their memory, and it was like a death for me, because I really cared about this family member. I do care about the whole family still, but I'd known them for a long time, and they had seizures. They lost their complete memory. I mean, all of it. They didn't remember who their children were, who their mother was, anybody. They had to learn how to speak again. They didn't know colors. They didn't know what trees were. They knew nothing. Could you imagine how horrible it would be to wake up one day and have no memory of anybody or anything? It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. The world is a very scary place when you have no idea what it is. Imagine all of a sudden you went to sleep tonight. Tomorrow morning you woke up on a different planet. There's all kinds of creatures running around. There's all kinds of things going on. You wake up in a room full of people who says they're now your family. Could you imagine? Could you imagine what it would be like to be that person? And all these people are like, yeah, we really love you. And you're like, who are you? I don't know any of you. I don't know anything. Absolutely terrifying. And incredibly difficult to even put yourself in those shoes. So when he sent me this email, I understood, because for months I would work with them and not be able to see this person, and it felt like a death to me. It was terrible not being able to talk to them anymore. I was so used to talking to them every week. I really enjoyed them as a person and got along with them really good. And, you know, it was so tough seeing them go through this. So this poor guy, you know, he's going through this. He takes his girl to the hospital. Next thing you know, she wakes up, she doesn't even remember him. So now that's like a death. All of a sudden she's gone from his life. And, you know, he said that the sister was lying to him about certain things, and, you know, his anxiety level was just through the roof. I mean, he can't control it. And so, you know, he's just missing her and wanting to reconnect. And for her, this is all terrifying and new. So it stressed her out. And she was like, well, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with you. You know, she probably didn't even remember who he is. And, you know, she's like, yeah, I get that you care about me, but I don't know about you. I'm not well. I've got a daughter that I've got to take care of. Like, he is now much lower on the list of priorities. Now, he had heard that she still really cared about him and was calling him, or her, she was calling him her fiance, and, you know, things were well, because they were engaged prior to this. But she just doesn't know if she can do it. And he feels like he's living in hell, not knowing the reasons of anything or anything that's going on. He's a nervous wreck. It's an incredibly painful, difficult situation, and you could really just feel for this guy losing somebody like that. And most of you guys know exactly what that feels like. You know, somebody breaks up with you, they cheat on you, all of a sudden they're gone from your life, vanished, just like a death, pain like a death. And I told him, for his particular situation, he's going to have to be extremely patient. He's going to have to work on his anxiety himself and deal with his own issues, because she cannot have any added responsibilities at this time. She cannot feel any pressure to work things out or, you know, talk about her feelings, because she's going to feel smothered and trapped. She's scared. She doesn't need any other responsibilities. She's got health issues, and she's got a daughter. So I said in his particular case, what I would do is give her a lot of time and space, work on himself and managing his own anxiety, try and, you know, I don't know if she's still in some kind of rehab or whatever, but bring like board games over there just to laugh and have fun with her and see if, you know, they can bond and reconnect. But that's a really, really terrible situation. And honestly, in a lot of ways, we all go through that in a breakup. Now, not to this extreme where the person doesn't remember you and, you know, they're having health issues like this, but it's a very difficult process. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about briefly is that we go through stages of grief in a breakup. Now, we don't all go through the stages of grief. And when I say that, I mean we don't go through all of the stages for each person. Each person grieves differently. Here are the different stages if you're not familiar with them. You have denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. And some of you may not go through a denial. Some of you may not be angry. I suspect most of you will do bargaining. I know I did. Depression, I think a lot of you guys would be going through a depression and anxiety, which by the way go hand in hand a lot of times. And eventually you get to acceptance. So you're going to go through a lot of different feelings and emotions during a breakup. You're going to go through, one day you're going to be in denial about it, and the next day you're going to be bargaining, then the next day you're going to be in denial again. It's not a one then the next stage. Some of you guys might be thinking that you can go here, then back to here, then over to here, then over here, and you might not go through a certain stage, but we all grieve differently. We all deal with breakups, death, things like that differently, loss differently. So, if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. If you like the video and you appreciate my hard work, just put a like on there so I know. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because I do post videos Monday through Friday. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.